Curandera's Daughter by Maria de los Angeles Virgen.
The night opened beneath me like a dark river, warm currents lifting my wings as if the desert itself exhaled, just to keep me aloft. I did not rush. I glided, slow, deliberate, savoring every slip of air like it was a taste of something forbidden and holy. Ahead, Tekos had paved the way, leading our small cavalry towards another war. But I was at peace, and it felt good to feel completely free for a short period of time.
I will meet you there, Preciosa,
said Tekos.
Take your time and call to me if you need anything at all.
With that, our mind link temporarily closed. He knew me so well. I had been a broken owl for so long, always needing him to care for me, hunt for me, lead me. Not anymore. We are companions of the heart, and he will always have my heart just as I know that I have his. But right now, I needed to feel strong for once, on my own, even if for only a short while. My story is not yet complete. How strange it was to feel so human inside another species' body. For centuries, I had forgotten the pulse of freedom. I had forgotten how independence brought out a sense of autonomy no one could teach. But tonight, Dios mío, tonight the sky held me like a long-lost daughter, and I let it. As I rose higher, the dunes below blurred into gold ribbons. I felt the weight I carried for generations fall away piece by piece. Old grief, old fears, old shadows. My mother once told me,
healing comes slow, like a cactus blooming. Thorns grow all around to protect itself, but inside, a sweet delicacy is being created.
I never believed her. Not when the villagers called me a monster. Not when death tried to keep me. Not when my skin refused to be human again. Not when the centuries stretched around me like a barren horizon. But tonight, why? As the stars wrapped themselves around my wings, I bloomed. Yet I was not just the night's daughter. I was and will always be the Curandera's daughter. 200 years too late for the world, perhaps, but right on time for me. The wind carried me toward the mountains, and my thoughts drifted to the image that always stirred something ancient inside me. The eagle of my ancestors, wings spread, landing on the nopal to devour the serpent. The story of a people who rose from nothing but prophecy and grit. A whole nation born from a vision in the desert. I loved that story. I needed that story. The eagle, the cactus, the snake, a trinity of survival. Tonight, I felt like all three. The snake is the earth who regenerates throughout the seasons. In the dry desert, its skin peels, and by spring, after the showers, it grows, its skin again. The cactus are the people who thrive in all seasons but blooms around the time the skin of the serpent regenerates. The eagle, mighty and proud, is the strength of our people. It is the spirit where God rests, where he hunts, where he lives among the people, or at least that is how I see it. I thought of my Sangra, my people, my indigenous roots running deeper than any curse could reach. Even after centuries as an owl, the part of me that belonged to my people never died. Even when far away, it pulsed in my feathers, in the way I saw the land, in the way the desert whispered to me like a grandmother with smoke on her breath. I was not just a creature of the night. I was my mother's daughter.
The Curandera's daughter,
they whispered, as if that alone explained why I was different, why I was quiet, why I saw things I shouldn't, why the night felt like my true home long before I ever grew wings. But now, gliding under a moon swollen with silver, I embraced it. I was the Curandera's daughter. I was the cactus bloom. I was the eagle and the nopal and the serpent all at once. I was Santana, la lechuza. And at last, after 2 centuries of silence, like a cactus that was finally in bloom, I stopped on top of a slope to look towards the old lands of my home, alone but not lonely, alive and refreshed. Then another memory surfaced, one I had almost forgotten, having put it away from my mind for a long time. Isabelle. When Mamá found her, she looked like a little ghost, half here, half slipping into the next world. She was a starving teenager Mama had found abandoned in an old shack in the fields. I fed her, bathed her, sang to her softly the way Mamá once sang to me when the nights were too heavy. Isabelle clung to me in silence at first, but slowly, very slowly, her eyes brightened, her voice returned. Mamá, seeing how both the girl and I blossomed, allowed her to help us daily, fetching water, washing leaves, learning the trade so one day she could stand on her own 2 feet and afford to support herself. It felt good to care for another human. Instead of always being cared for, me, away from the darkness for a little while. She told us her story of how her mother had died, and her father had gone into a darkness of alcohol. She lived days at a time alone in the countryside while her father drank himself senseless in dusty cantinas, forgetting all about her. Isabelle was not like me, harboring bad thoughts from her experience, or at least not in the beginning. Isabelle bloomed like a wildflower after rain. Her ribs disappeared beneath new flesh. Her cheeks pinkened. She laughed, a sound so fragile I feared it might break if held too tightly. She was a sister to me. But good things in our world rarely last. Isabelle was 16, and I was 15, old enough to understand that suffering makes people different, but young enough to think love alone could fix anyone. At least for me. My mother, ever the healer, ever the rescuer, brought her into our home without hesitation. My mother had said she was of shifter blood too, but probably too malnourished to use her magic. Nonetheless, she lived in our home for a short while. For months, Isabelle and I trained together under my mother's watchful eye. We learned to grind herbs in the metate, to listen to the desert's hum, to whisper prayers that eased fever and nightmares. She didn't mind my crooked fingernail that looked like a talon when all the other children, and even some adults, teased me like it was a sign of the devil. She defended me, and I defended her when the same bullies were jealous of her mestizo hair and eyes. But something inside her never settled. Over time, her eyes wandered toward the dark corners of the village. She craved attention, excitement, the illusion of power. She craved to be loved.
I want to go out and find a husband,
she told me once, sneaking off.
Maybe then I too can have my own house and family too,
she said, smiling.
A large family, maybe 8 or 10 children.
She giggled as she ran off, and soon enough she found someone that promised her those things. Then came the night she brought him to meet Mama and Papa. She was going to get married, she told them. I still remember the smell before I saw him. Smoke, meat, and something metallic like blood, drying on stone. He stepped from the darkness as if he had materialized out of it. His eyes glowed in the firelight, 2 molten coins watching, measuring, dissecting. A jaguar shifter. This is what the wind told me, but not like my father. This one carried rot in his aura, pride sharpened into cruelty, magic so warped it tasted sour in the air. At the time, I didn't exactly know what to make of all that, but I knew in my gut something was wrong.
His name is Eacatl,
Isabelle said, with a nervous smile. Eacatl looked at my parents the way one might look at a tool, useful, disposable, and when his gaze shifted to me, something hungry curled behind it. My mother sensed it instantly. She stepped between us, her fingers brushing her pouch of blessed salt, her chin tilted in warning. Ysabel only bowed mockingly, a jaguar's grin cutting across his face, and vanished back into the night. Days passed. Isabelle did not return to the house. We figured she had gone off and married him. We did not hear one thing from them until one evening, when I was sweeping the courtyard. The wind shifted, hot, sudden, unnatural. Before I could turn, Ysabel was already behind me. No footsteps, no sound, just presence.
"Walk with me,"
he said, not as a request but a command. Against my better judgment, I followed. Some part of me, young, curious, foolish, wanted to know what he wanted so badly. Was he leading me to Isabelle? Was something wrong? Another part of me, deeper, older, whispered that this moment could be dangerous, but I didn't listen. We stopped near the arroyo where storms carved scars into the earth.
"Isabelle is weak,"
he said without preamble.
"Empty, useless. She has no magic."
My chest tightened. She is trying. She is learning.
"She is nothing,"
he insisted with jaguar disdain.
"But your power is ancient. It sleeps in your blood. I can awaken it."
The world seemed to hold its breath. "What do you mean?" I whispered, naturally inclined to lie about my shifter blood, especially to another shifter. I ringed my fingers, trying to appear timid and small, not powerful. Ysabel leaned close, his voice a hiss of heat and shadow.
"Stop playing dumb. I know exactly what you are, Lechuza. I know what your parents are, and..."
Suddenly he transformed into a jaguar, spotted, large, and even more powerful looking than a regular jaguar. He gave off a great roar that echoed into the arroyo. Instinctively I recoiled back, sensing menace from his spirit. Then he half-shifted back to human, both jaguar and human at the same time. It reminded me of the time I grew talons to protect myself. Had I, too, half-shifted at that time? Was that why that drunk man had looked at me the way he did? Had I looked just as frightful? Instinctively, I fidgeted with my crooked nail.
"Bring me Isabelle's heart,"
he said roughly, as if both the jaguar and human in him were speaking at once.
"and no one will ever hurt you again. I will give you power greater than any Curandera or shifter alive.
He paused for a second.
Then you will be my wife, and together we will rule this land."
Just then, movement caused my eye to roam away from Ysabel. It was Isabelle, tied and gagged behind a bush. She was moaning and appeared drugged. Her sad eyes locked onto mine, and her expression was that of, "I'm sorry." The desert spun. My stomach twisted. I felt rage coil inside me. "No," I said instantly. He growled again. "Why would you ask me such a thing?" I said angrily. "She is my sister. Get out of here," I yelled.
"She may be a sister to you, but when I asked her to bring me your heart, she did not say no."
He said. What? No, I thought. She would never.
"All your secrets. She told me. Your mother is a horned owl. Your father a jaguar like me. I know the name of all the other shifters, and curanderas your mother knows too. Oh, and that man you killed. I know who his family is, and I will tell them exactly what you did."
No, I thought to myself. How could she? "I was defending myself," I yelled. "He was going to kill me afterwards." A shadow of shame and regret washed over me for an instant, but I forced the thought away.
"I'm sorry, Santana,"
said the half-drugged Isabelle, who had managed to remove the muzzle.
"He was my father. I don't blame you for what you did. I tried to forgive, tried to forget.
Ayakatl laughed in the background. No, I thought to myself, not the monster by the lake. Had our sisterhood been a lie the whole time? Ayakatl's evil smile grew.
Your soul is tainted, Santana.
His words slithered like a snake.
Just like mine. Plus, I don't think they will care if you say you are protecting yourself. Once they know what you and your family are, you will be tried as a witch.
He seethed as if his saliva were venom.
Why do you think I was at your house? Because I'm a gentleman and need your family's blessing to marry who I want? No, because she was going to kill you. Then I was going to kill your mother, and then your father. She had a knife under her apron. Your mother ruined everything with her protective magic.
He spit onto the ground. Mama? Please, Mama, I thought to myself. If she could hear me through our weak mind link, I need you now.
But you, little Tekalote girl.
He leaned into me.
I sense the darkness in you. I feel your power. I feel it trying to come out. I know you know what I'm talking about.
I shook my head no, but I knew exactly what he was talking about, yes. I felt the fury, felt the anger, the desire to go and attack all the men out there in the world for their evil deeds. The darkness surrounded me everywhere I went, even when I was doing good deeds. If it weren't for my own loving father, I would have thought all men were evil, would have given into the darkness a long time ago. There is one thing you don't know about me, I said to Ayakatl.
What is that?
He asked angrily, rolling his eyes at me as if tired with our conversation. I don't need skins to shift, I said, while aiming my now taloned hands at him. I didn't know if I could truly do it, but I did. I half shifted somehow. The owl spirit came to my aid. He lunged. One moment he was a man with golden eyes. The next he was claws and teeth and hunger, a jaguar made of shadows. His hand slashed toward me. So fast I barely recognized the movement. I stumbled back, breath locked in my throat. I might have died that night, but just like the last incident, it was not yet my time. A scream tore through the sky. Not human, not mortal. An owl's cry, sharp enough to pierce bone. My mother burst through the trees, obsidian blade drawn, beads rattling like war drums around her neck. 2 curanderas followed, chanting protection prayers, and the scent of copal thickened the air. And then my father arrived, charging from a distance, in jaguar form. I had never seen him in his jaguar spirit, but somehow I knew it was him. He struck Ayakatl with the force of a falling star. Ayakatl's shift came mid-stumble. One heartbeat a man, the next a massive jaguar, fur black as volcanic glass. Ayakatl staggered, claws skidding across the dirt, still snarling. My father's roar split the air, the kind that makes the earth remember who once ruled it. Ayakatl never had the chance to recover. So much for having so much power. My mother was already behind him, obsidian blade in hand. With a single fluid motion, one she had practiced only to protect the innocent, she drove the blade into his chest and tore out his heart. The sound was wet, violent. She looked at me then, her face both fierce and grieving.
It is the only way to kill the darkness inside him, Preciosa,
she explained. So my mother was right. She would have done the same. And my vision of my father eating the bad man was also true for. My father, still in jaguar form, accepted the heart. As his spirit consumed the twisted magic inside it, I felt the air shift, the desert exhaling a breath it had been holding for far too long. I wanted to sit, to think, to understand what had just happened.
but a glint of fabric near the shrubs pulled my attention. Ysabelle. She was lying motionless, her small frame half hidden by the brush. At first I thought she was unconscious, but when I turned her over, the truth struck me harder than any blow. A knife, her knife, was buried in her stomach, likely the same blade she had meant for me. I saw the shredded rope, then put two and two together as to how this unfolded. 2 people died that night, one corrupt, one broken. And yet my heart mourned them both. Eacatl could have been me had I taken one wrong step. Isabelle could have been saved had someone loved her sooner. But I had chosen a different road than either of them. And in that moment, with their blood cooling on the desert floor, I understood something I had never dared to believe. My soul was not tainted, not cursed, not doomed, not dark. I wept for the Eacatl, the man who wanted to feel powerful, just as I wept for Isabelle, sister, who just wanted to feel loved. My mother's blade had taught me a truth sharper than obsidian. Life is not about perfect goodness or perfect evil. Sometimes it's not about wrong or right. It is about love. Messy, painful, stubborn love. You can choose to forgive, just not forget. And you can love yourself too, even if you're alone. If anything, love yourself first before you love others. You can choose your own way. The 4 directions lay before everyone to choose. And still, family, true family, will love you more fiercely than anything that seeks to destroy you. Blood, not blood. It didn't matter. Dust settled. Silence returned. My father pressed his jaguar muzzle to my cheek, trembling with leftover rage and protectiveness. My mother pulled me against her chest, her bones firm, her heart frantic. Wait. A sudden burst of information on the wind hit me clearly, and I knew it came from my mother. Quickly, as fast as my wings could take me, I flew back to the little house. I tore the already collapsed chimney down with sweat and tears. There in the middle of all the rubble were both my parents, leather belts. I collapsed and let the moon witness my ugly cry. I cried because love had touched me. I felt my father's jaguar muzzle me once again, and my mother's owl wings surrounded me in a warm embrace. Of all people, I, La Lechuza, know what true owl medicine is. It is dark, but it is healing magic all the same. It is shadow work. It is sloppy and frightening sometimes, like a woman giving birth. And that is the best lesson my Curandera mother has ever taught me.
Thank you for listening to the Lechuza story. Please subscribe to hear more.